guys, happy Sunday. I hope you guys are having a glorious Sunday. Over here in the White Mountains, we're having a very rainy Sunday, but you know what? The forest needs it, and so do its animals and people. So anyway, before we go any further into our live chat, if you don't know who I am Tara with Kittens, Weights, and Tarot, and you can learn a little bit more about me by checking out the information box down below. So you can check out the website, kittensweightsandtarot.com. You can check out my witchy shop, Desert Cauldron. You can check me over on the Instagrams, and you can look for ways to help support the channel if that floats your boat by heading over to my YouTube member page or my Patreon page. So thank you to everybody who does support the channel, either by being a subscriber, which we have well over 11,000 subscribers now, which is crazy, or being a patron, which thank you to all of my patrons, Lily and Dana and Jamie and Kayla and Sugna Baby and Brandy and Brian, Paulu, Crystal, Easy Does It, Joel, Linda, Casey Gritter, Oz, and Ashley. So thank you. And also to my YouTube members, thank you very much. You know who they are because they have a little colored kitty head right next to their name, Kayla and Nancy and Jonathan Cleese and Jolene, Duality Tales, Sea Captain 8611, and Costalini. Thank you guys so much. And also a huge shout out to all of my mighty moderators. They wield the wrench of destiny next to their screen names. So thank you to all of my moderators who pop in and out, and also to my boyfriend Riley, who's one of my moderators. Thank you. All right. Well, you guys, today, as you know, on Thursdays, I put out a poll. Like 90% of the time, I'll put out a poll seeing what you guys want to do during our Sunday live chat. And so I had what I thought was 4 pretty good choices, but you guys were looking for a light language integration meditation. So I thought utilizing the real Aurora Borealis and integrating its codes would be really beneficial. And it looks like you guys thought that that would be really good to do during our Sunday live chat too. So I'm super excited about it. And I'll talk a little bit about why I said the real Aurora Borealis. We'll get to that in a moment. But we're going to do our weekly reading first. Then we'll dive into our light language meditation integration, and then maybe do some super chats and super stickers, and then do a channel guided meditation. So, you know, get our healing on, folks. All right. So let's see. Let me grab my tea here. You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to put my tea recipe in the description. So I will do that after the live chat today. But anytime I have a tea or I'm munching on something that I've made, I usually try to put the recipe there for you guys, not so you could recreate exactly what I'm doing, but so maybe it could be inspiration for whatever it is that you have cooking up in the kitchen, or you have brewing, or maybe it's a springboard for something completely, different. But, I always think it's nice to have it there to maybe help you guys out. But this recipe, I cannot claim it as my own. I got this recipe. I tweaked it for mine. So I actually used somebody else's inspiration, and they springboarded me into something that I wanted to create for my tea. And so hopefully this will springboard you into creating something for yourself. But I have this as like a really relaxing, chill, and plus it's a tea. It's nice and hot, and it's pretty chilly today. I think it's like 40 something degrees. Looking for it to get colder though soon. Maybe we'll have some snow. Maybe we'll have some snow for Thanksgiving. But I'll be down in the valley, so there won't be any snow down there. But anyway, so for my chillax tea, I have kava root, which I find that it's hard to find kava these days. I also have poppy seed, and I have valerian root. I know valerian root is really stinky, but it tastes good, and it's really good for the nervous system to help just calm you down. I also have some organic cacao powder, and I put in a little bit of my 87% dark chocolate in here to kind of help out with the earthiness of the kava and the other very earthiness of the Valerian. So, anywho, um, hey, Lilith Phoenix is here. She says, a wild Terra appears. Well, hello. Yes. I couldn't figure out if I was a leopard or a cow this morning. So Riley was saying moo every time, everywhere I went. Anyway, so let's have a little sip of our tea. Mm. Oh, Costalini is here. It says, I just assumed the chat was broken. No, no, no. Welcome, you guys. I think it's because there are a bunch of other states that did the time change. And so I just kept it 2:00 because Arizona doesn't change their time. So I just kept it at 2:00. But I know that now Pacific Standard Time is like an hour behind us, and New York is now, or at least like the East Coast is only a couple hours ahead instead of 3 hours ahead. So I think people are just still adjusting to the new time. So that could be why. Usually when there's a time change, it's like people are like, oh my gosh, oh, you're having a live chat right now. But that's cool. Anyway, that's still pretty freaking hot. So I'm going to let that chillax for a little bit. Maybe I'll let it chillax with the lid off. How about them apples? Yes, do it. Cool it. Right on. Anyway, so I'm excited to dive into our weekly reading. Like I said, it's a little chill, so I have my blankie here with me, and I got my faux Ugg boots. So I think they're my fugs. So I got my fugs on, helping to keep my feeties warm, and this nice wool sweater, which actually I found at the thrift store. Score. Anyway, so let me show you the decks that I'm working with for our weekly reading. And if you are going to be pulling cards with us, then definitely let me know what decks you will be utilizing. Or if you're like, you know what, I don't need the cards, I'm just going to just channel some messages, then, definitely pop in those messages, because I think that it just creates for a more well-rounded reading when there are many higher selves involved instead of just my own. Okay, so I have, what was this? This was called the Walking Salmon Oracle. I got this a long time ago, but it's in this little kitty bag here. And I think I actually have 3 volumes of the Walking Salmon, or no, it's by the Walking Fish. And it's from a Etsy shop in Sweden. And I believe it's called Salmon Wisdom. There you go. It's the Salmon Wisdom Oracle. So it's very thick because they keep coming out with like extra cards. So for a while I was getting those extra cards, and now they have more. And I'm like, I can't even hold them in my hand. There are so many cards. So I was like, I'm good. So, okay. So I have this deck. I think that'll be fun to utilize. I also have the Magical Hours Tarot, the Sacred Forest Oracle, Divine Doors, because yes, and the Nature's Pharmacy, which is actually not an oracle deck. It's actually, this is put out by the New York Botanical Garden. So it has a lot of the plants and their medicinal uses and their historical background, but I like to use it for divination. So that's why I have this deck. Alrighty. Let's see. Lilith is saying hello to Costalini. Hellos all around. Lilith said cozy vibes. I love it. Hey, very happy Mondays is here. Says greetings and happy Sunday. Happy Sunday to you all. All right. Well, let's dive into the reading. Okay, so like I said, if you guys are going to be jumping in with some messages that you've channeled, maybe there were some messages that came through in your dreams. I usually have really weird dreams. So when I don't have weird dreams, that's weird to me. And then last night's dreams, I actually had a couple nightmares. It was like one nightmare after the other. And I normally don't get nightmares, but I think it's just because I went to bed pretty late. Somebody kept me up. And I think sometimes if I'm a little too tired when I go to bed, I think that like messes with my brain waves and end up having some not so fun dreams. Okay, so I have the Sacred Forest Oracle. I'm just going to pull like a theme card, and then I want to use the Magical Hours Tarot to kind of, I don't know, expand upon it, you know? Lilith says, Rider Waite and the Book of Shadows Tarot. Nice. I dig it. All right. Okay. So, and by the way, Lilith Phoenix, I did get your last email that you sent with, man, so many pieces to that beautiful like sunflower puzzle that you were doing. And your kitty sounds just like my kitties, where they would hide things so that I would just never complete my projects. I'm like, where? And but it was usually when I was making jewelry or something. I would have certain stones out for like earrings or necklaces I was making for people. And then it was like, I just had that stone. Where is it? And my cat would be like, hey, 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 hey. So I totally understand mischievous little kittens. Let's see. All right, more homies coming in saying hello. I dig it. Okay, so that card's going off to the side. Yeah. Yeah. And let me know what anything interesting happened this past week. Any interesting dreams, downloads, meditations, healings? Run into a couple of aliens, maybe? I don't know. I don't know what be happening in other people's lives. So do share, do share. Let's see. Lilith says, dreamt about another reader this week. Okay, cool beans. So tapping into the collective. All right, I dig it. All right. So you know what? I think there was a card that got left out. That's probably also a message. Okay, I'll leave that over there. You know what? We're going balls to the wall. We are going to pull way more cards, I kind of feel, for this week. If I remember correctly, the reading from last week was that there was like some, I think for some people, some old stuff coming up, but in a different way. For some people, they were going through some of the bigger changes. For some people, they probably wouldn't even notice it. But yeah, that's why I always ask, you know, what happened, you know, this past week. See, you know, if it aligned with the reading, or you know, maybe it kind of went a different direction. I always want to hear about it. Okay, so for the walking salmon wisdom. Walking fish, salmon wisdom. Okay, let's pull those cards. And divine doors. I kind of just feel we need more cards in our lives. Plus, I'm just feeling really cozy, and the act of shuffling cards just calms me down. But I've been that way since I was like 6 or 7. I just really like shuffling cards. Who knows? Maybe I was a gambler in a past life or something like that. However, I don't know how to play card games really, except maybe Old Maid and Go Fish and Uno, which can get out of hand. But but yeah, I used to like shuffle, and I try to do like fancy shuffling with like a deck of cards. And then I liked the pictures in my Old Maid set that I had. It was like a 70s Old Maid, and I actually would use it for divination, but I didn't know I was using it for divination. It was just kind of like what I was doing when I was like 7. So interesting. Okay, so it looks like we have a door. What's behind door number 3? It's Officer O'Malley. Okay. And then lastly, so I'm literally using all of my decks. So I thought I would pull a Nature's Pharmacy card to see what plant medicine we could work with. So either you have this plant growing in your yard, maybe you have it in dried form amongst your herbal collection. Maybe you don't have it at all, or you don't even know about it, but you might want to tap into it energetically. I feel that we can tap into a lot of things energetically. We don't necessarily need the physical. Lola said it was too funny. Dreamscape be wild. It sure is. Costolini's like getting robbed and being happy about it. 100. That's right. Of course, I don't want to tell Costolini's story. I would let him tell it if he would want to. But yeah, that was awesome, and also like sad, awesome. Sad that there was a robbery, but also awesome about the outcome. Lilith was like, whoa. Let's see. Okay, I think we have our card. Excellent. Do it. Okay. Whew, all this wool on wool action is actually pretty warm. If you guys ever live in a place that gets pretty cold, wool, my friends, that is where it's at. I know that we have a lot of new man-made materials, and down is really good at keeping you nice and warm, but wool, wool, that's where it's at to keep you warm. Okay, I have a bazillion cards here. Let's take a look here. Let's see, Lilith says, can we get a crystal for the week? Oh, we sure can, because what's behind me are all, not all of my crystals, but 90%, 95% of my crystals are behind me. So yeah, we certainly can. I'll just kind of shuffle them, so to speak. So yeah, we'll pull a crystal too. Okay, so I have rainbow waterfalls, miracles. Oh, and I have been seeing butterflies like crazy since like 2 days ago. Not actually out and about butterflies, but butterflies in people's videos, butterflies on people's shirts, butterfly stickers on people's cars, just everywhere butterflies. And for me, it could mean ancestral energy, although I more attribute hummingbirds and dragonflies to my ancestors. But I see butterflies as like that, like ultimate transformation. Really, think about the butterfly. It goes from something that cannot fly, it looks completely different, and how it feeds and everything, and turns into almost a different insect, like entirely. Now it has wings, now it has less legs, now it, I've had the privilege of being able to see them come out of their chrysalises, because we had a bunch of monarch butterflies in my yard in San Diego, and I kept buying more and more milkweed to keep up with the monarch population that was coming through. And it was literally, they were all over my retaining wall. And one of them had fallen out of the chrysalis, but I was there watching, so I caught it with my hand. I literally caught a brand new butterfly. It was like the most magical thing. So for me, like, butterflies are the omen of just what a lot of people are waiting for. Not so much what our egos are waiting for. Maybe some of us are waiting for $1 million, or some of us are waiting for our, I don't know, for something to go up in flames, to give me permission to do the thing that I want. I feel like it's much more than that. It's a big transmutation right down to our very soul. So I'm feeling some pretty big stuff for this week. If it's at an energetic level, it's at a soul level. So we'll get some more information on it when I take a look at these other cards, but super cool. I like the first card that we've pulled. Costolini says, you can share. It's better said than written. Okay. Alrighty. Well, I will do that. Very Happy Monday says, observed and overheard strange, unexpected arguments, then remembered Mercury lemonade. Everything is normal, I guess. For sure. Yeah, when a ye old retrograde rolls in, communication tends to go, but Sarah Lee says, will there be new channeling today? Love those. We are actually going to do a light language channeling through utilizing the real Aurora Borealis. So a channeling of sorts. And of course, our channel guided meditation as well. Very happy Monday says metamorphosis vibes, beautiful. And Lola said, got the Ace of Cups and the Emperor. Ooh, I like that. Especially, I like that. I love the aces and cups, especially because it's such a fluid energy to it. It's not like, bam, it's in your face, but I like the roll of that one, kind of like the undertow in a wave, you know? Okay, let's see. From the tarot deck that I had out, the magical hours, we had the devil. We had the Knight of Pentacles. We have the Hanged Man. So let's see, that is 2 major arcanas. And then we have a court card. So that's interesting. But then there was a card that kind of flew out on its own and I kind of missed it. And that was the 8 of Swords. Ooh, coming in with some sword action. All right. So let's put all of these together and see how that also connects to our Rainbow Waterfall, our Miracles card with that butterfly metamorphosis. Okay. Okay. So I just keep seeing this separation between the things that we feel light us up, like and not to say like, when I make my teas, that makes me happy, I really enjoy that. But is the act of me making my tea, or is the tea itself going to change me for me? Probably not. Even the other things that really light me up, like I enjoy playing with my watercolors, painting, I like making stuff. But those things are not what changed me. It's not the items I make, it's not the material items. I really feel that there is this deeper change that we're going to be experiencing this week, but we have to differentiate the things that light us up with the things that truly light the soul up. What lights the soul up is listening, to God, listening to source energy. It's really listening to what's the real energetic voice in there versus, well, if you go and make this pair of earrings, that'll make you really happy. Or if you go and buy this, pair of shoes, that'll make you really happy. Or if I go buy this house, or if I lived in, I don't know where, then I'll be really happy. Then we're going to find ourselves chasing and chasing and chasing. And pretty soon, feeling this 8 of Swords energy where we start to find ourselves depressed or sad because it's like, I just can't find anything that makes me happy. And it's because we're looking outside the self. And sometimes it can be really deceptive when we're like, well, when I tap into my creativity, I'm tapping into my soul, which is true. But sometimes we can confuse the thing that we're creating or the thing that we're making with the thing that's going to make us happy. It ends up becoming this external thing. So it's like the jewelry that I'm making, that's going to make me happy, or the painting that I'm doing, or the musical composition that I'm doing, that's going to make me happy. When it's not the thing, it's the energy that you're in. It's the frequency that you're creating by, allowing that source energy, God, to flow onto that paper, to flow into your music, to flow into the things you're making. It's that flow, it's that energy, it's not the thing itself. So just kind of keeping that in mind. And let's take a look at our other cards as well. And this one is from the Divine Doors. And it says, morning memory in healing. Oh, its healing gift runs a destined course. The morning dawn, our inspired source. Meditate under the sun. So definitely getting the coming back to the self, but remember, it's not the trees that brings us the happiness. It's not the sun that's bringing me the happiness. It's not the dirt, but it's the frequency that I put myself in, that I'm changing from within. And it just so happens that it's being reflected in my outer world. So that morning memory. I love that. Beautiful card. Okay, so from my salmon wisdom, I like reading these like a sentence, a very funky sentence, but a sentence. Okay, so we have volume up. I can dig that. Try to fly. Smart as the salmon. And the last word, what you want. Okay, so let me try to read that again. Volume up, try to fly, smart as the salmon, what you want. Try to fly, smart as the salmon. Oh, well, think of what salmon do when they're in a rushing river. It's almost like they're flying out of the water, right? When they as the rivers are going like this, and the fish are kind of following it, and sometimes the bears are standing off to the side waiting for the fish to kind of fly out of the water so they could just kind of catch it in their mouths. But yeah, it's like they're flying. They're doing something that would be technically impossible for their species to do, which is fly. And momentarily, they are in flight. So volume up, try to fly, smart as the salmon, what you want. So with this, I'm getting the kind of what the rest of the reading was talking about, is looking to the external for validation, looking to the external for what makes us happy. And if we're doing that, then it's really hard to see miracles in our life, which is actually what this card was called. It was called miracles. And what is a miracle? Then it is something that is outside of our comprehension. It is something that we don't yet understand. It's something we don't have a definition for. That's a miracle. We don't know how that happened. It just kind of happened, and so it's very hard to allow those miracles, the miracle of change, the miracle of being able to see the world differently, to have a different reality, to become something that we think is impossible, or, humans flying, that's absolutely impossible without, being in a helicopter or airplane, or whatever it may be, or being on one of those, like, I don't know, if they got like a propeller on their back or something like that, so it's really coming back to the soul and that connection to the all, the one, to allow for those miracles to take place this week. Wow, this seems like a really big week for us. I'm real excited. Okay, let's see. Let me go back. I missed some of your comments. Very Happy Monday says, are you inviting everybody to pull a card as well? If so, did you have a specific question in mind? Yes, definitely pull cards as well. Just tapping into this upcoming week's energy. Just what are you getting for this upcoming week? And the reason I enjoy other people, channeling the messages or pulling cards is because everybody their soul is looking at things from a different perspective. I mean, that's why we're all here. We all see things differently, which helps us all to grow. We're all one. So that's why I dig that. Lila says, I'm getting a purge to ascension vibes for the week. Happy Mondays. Ooh. Yes, and Lula said, as within, so without. Yes, as above, so below. All right. So our plant that we have here from the New York Botanical Garden is arnica. I literally mentioned arnica probably a couple of days ago, because Riley had bashed his shin because he goes balls to the wall. And I was like, well, if I had some arnica, you put some arnica on that. But he's like, I don't bruise. And weirdly, he doesn't. But I bruise like a peach. So I know all about arnica. Anyway, but I'll read to you what the New York Botanical Garden had to say about arnica. It says, the large yellow daisies of arnica rise above rosettes of downy leaves that hug the ground of high mountain meadows and open woodlands throughout much of Europe. The botanical name comes from the Greek anarchis, which means lambskin, referring to the soft texture of the leaves. However, this alpine plant's oldest and wildest use was as a folk medicine. in Germany and Austria. Although toxic when taken internally, it has been called Tumbler's cure-all because of its healing power when applied externally to bruises and sprains. So its botanical name is Arnica montana, and it is in the daisy family, for the plant family. Its origin is in northern and central Europe. And here are its current uses. Arnica is still used in ointments for the relief of muscle aches, bruises, and sprains, but caution should be used since it can also cause an allergic rash. Well, I have not had an allergy to arnica, so I have been able to utilize this wonderful plant. I used to go to, well, before Sprouts was called Sprouts, it was called Boney's. So I used to go to Boney's, and I would get these sublingual pellets. They were like just taking, parts of the plant to take sublingually, and it helped my bruises heal really fast, like 10 times faster. If I had a bruise for like a week, it would like be a bruise for maybe 2 days instead. It was really good. Okay, so let's see why arnica might be coming in. Okay. Okay. Think about when we get a bruise. Let's say I bruised my hand, and I might forget about how I bruised my hand until I look at the bruise again. Or I mean, I might forget that I had bruised my hand until I feel the bruise, or until I look at it and I'm like, oh shoot, man, shouldn't have hit my hand in the, I don't know, cabinet door. And so I'm reminded of it. And every time I feel it and every time I look at it, I'm reminded of it. And sometimes our external world is like a bruise for us, or it reminds us of these bruises. So, if you see a particular person and it's reminding you of a quote unquote bruising of the past, then it's all of a sudden, it's like all coming back again. Or, we might even feel it sometimes when we're, feeling down and out. And then some of these, old memories and things come to mind, and then we're feeling that pain all over again. And arnica is asking us to transmute that. What can we do to put ourselves back into the driver's seat? That kind of like that emperor card that Lilith pulled earlier. So what can we do to empower ourselves instead of to disempower? Like, I am a victim of my memories. I'm a victim of, what happened to me in the past. I'm going to carry these bruises forever. Instead of that, what could I have learned from the situation so that the situation doesn't happen again? Taking away the people that were involved, their human self, just looking at them from a soul level. What role do you think their soul was trying to play in order to help you? So maybe they were playing the bad guy, but why did they have to play the bad guy in that situation? So arnica is really asking us to return our power to ourselves instead of giving it away. But also, there's learning in having given our power away for a while. So it's nothing to get upset about yourself, to yourself about saying, man, I've been a victim for so long. Instead of, getting down on yourself, you could say, well, I wonder why I did that, and was there a reason? Was there a way that I was protecting myself by, holding on to that for a while? Is there a reason, did other things have to fall into place before I felt like I was ready to release it? And what was that? And why was that? So we become more like a professor, kind of looking into why we did certain things instead of like, you shouldn't have done those things. It's much different energy. One is very empowering. One is, well, it destroys our self-esteem for one. So thank you, Arnica, for coming in. Okay, let's see. Very Happy Monday says, from Magical Spirit Oracle, number 19, Growing Pains, Healing Patience Unconscious. Bottom of the deck, number 17, The Portal, Adventure, Ancestors Calling. Ooh, and you know what? In my Instagram stories, I literally put something about a portal. So I was like moving through the portals. So that's really cool. And I love the healing and the patience that kind of goes along with the arnica. It also goes along with the miracles card with our metamorphosis with our butterfly. So that's pretty cool. By the way, love the yin yang symbol. That's awesome. How'd you get that symbol? Special? Silver Star Priestess. Hey, what's up, girl? Says, hola, buenas tardes, Tara. Hello, all. Hope you're having a beautiful day or evening. So, yay! I'm so happy. So many of you are able to join us in this chat. Makes my little heart sing. Okay, well, let's put these cards to the side. You guys go ahead and keep pulling some cards. I'll read them aloud. Any other energies, any other things that you feel are coming up this week? Maybe it's kind of coming off of some of the cards that I pulled or some of the downloads that I got, or maybe you're getting something completely different, maybe something for us to lean into or kind of just put on hold for a moment. Maybe it's some of us need to have our our peepers open this week. I don't know. Okay, so I'm just putting these here like here. Okay, I'm going to take my blankie off because it's getting warm. Maybe I'll take my oogs off. My foogs. Okay. All right. Very happy Mondays says both cards have third eye imagery, by the way. All right. So also, I would see that as a reminder to not look externally. Of course, you know, the external world can tell us a lot about where to look inwards, where to look when we connect to our soul, when we connect to God, when we connect to source, you know, but I don't feel that external world necessarily has the actual answers. It's more like a guide. So you need that third eye. I love that. That's awesome. Okay. So let's have a little bit more of this lava tea. I mean, that's what I love about this mug is that it can keep your tea hot literally for probably 12 hours. But also, it's like burning fire for like 5 hours. Oh, that is so good. I'm definitely putting the recipe in the description for you guys. And for those of you who came later, at the very beginning, you know, well, I said that I would put the recipe in the description. I'll do that after the live chat today. But I have poppy seed, valerian, kava, and cacao powder and dark chocolate in here. And it's so good. I have a hard time using valerian sometimes, although I know that when I drink valerian, I feel good. Like I feel my nervous system like taking a chill pill. And it tastes pretty good when it's steeped as a tea. But man, does it stink. People have said that it smells like rotting corpses. And I would say it's not too far off. It's really bad. Like I have it in a jar, inside of a jar, under other things so that the smell can't possibly permeate this house. So only when I finally opened it out of all of its mummification, I was like, oh, quickly put that into the tea. Oh, and then the smell goes away. Like once it's in boiling water, for some reason, it doesn't stink anymore. But man, but valerian, really good herb. And certain kitty cats that love catnip, which not all cats love catnip. It's just kind of, you know, stereotypical that cats love catnip. But a lot of them that love catnip also love valerian. So with my my two cats, Wally and Loki, on their they used to have like these cardboard scratchers that I get at Trader Joe's. That's like the only thing I used to get at Trader Joe's because they were so cheap. They were like $10, and I get this like cat scratcher, and so they'd scratch, 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 and I'd put some of the catnip on there, and of course, Wally would be like, his like little eyes are rolling in his head because he's getting like cat stoned. But when I put valerian root on there, both of them would be like, oh, they like rub their faces in it. It'd be all over their fur. They'd be like, just like one eye's this way, one eye's this way. They're like little tongues hanging out there, like, oh, and then they'd be like so chill afterwards. They're just like, I was like, wow, my cats are stoned. Interesting. Let's see. Silverstar says, my husband said it smells like feet. I double mine and it still stinks. So yeah, you double yours in a jar as well. I can see that. I can see it also smelling like feet. For me, it would probably smell like rotting feet. Like, everybody in the chat now is probably like, well, I don't think I would like to use valerian, but I'm saying that if you can get past the stink and actually put it into a tea, it's really delightful. And right now, like, all I smell is chocolate, so I don't smell it. I think it's just the fresh and dried form before it's been blanched. Oh, Very Happy Monday says, this deck's heavy with eyes, but in these cards, it stood out to me. Maybe the collective will benefit from looking at this week's events with a different perspective. I like that. Nice. Very Happy Monday says, you're lucky little cats. Yes, I miss my boys. One day, one day we'll get a little kitty for our home here. And I'm like thinking, I love Bombay's, which is what Loki was. Beautiful big kitty. He looks like a panther. Like, they're a cross between a sable Burmese and a black American short hair. And so he had these beautiful golden just eyes, and it was such a contrast next to his like onyx colored fur. He's so beautiful. And then Wally, who was a silver point, so he was a little lighter than most Siamese. And and he had this beautiful, blue eyes. And but I was like thinking, if I got another kitty, I would either want a Bombay or a Siamese, or really any kitty who finds me really, and wants to be their forever home. Like, that's cool. Doesn't necessarily have to be a particular breed, but I was saying if there was like, a breed that popped up, then then I also like what's the name of that cat? It like just left my mind. They're half wild. What's the name of those kitties? They're very big kitties. I like big kitties. I like half wild animals. That's probably why I make friends with so many nature forest friends, because I like wild animals. I like them in their natural habitat. Silver Star says, I noticed some of the stinky stuff is so good for you. Fermented garlic, honey, onions, so good for you. Yes, I second that. And it's oftentimes the fermentation process that helps to boost our immune system, metabolism. And it's like the opposite of what quote unquote Western doctors would have us believe is like, oh, like mold on cheese. Oh, that's bad for you. But we'll sell you some penicillin, like, fermented garlic, honey, onions, and all that stuff. But we'll sell you some amoxicillin, which is going to totally wipe out all your gut bacteria. That's good for you. You don't want any of that good gut bacteria, which actually keeps you healthy. Anyway, I will get off my healing soapbox. Let's see. Costalini says, I pulled the 3 of Wands in reverse. I got kind of wobbly when I touched it. No idea what that means. Let's see if I can tap into it. And Silver Star says, I swear by it. Let's see. Um, I mean, obviously, go with your gut interpretation above what me or anybody else says about the interpretation of your card. But what I was getting um, was a little bit of trepidation with what's coming for you, because you've already seen, I think, a lot of confirmation that like your reality really is shifting and changing. And although like at a conscious level you're like, well, yeah, sure, I mean, I'm leveling up, I'm shifting, I'm changing, my energies, my frequency is all, it's changing, that's cool, that's what I want. But subconsciously, our ego is like, whoa, okay, this is a little bit too much for me. Okay, maybe we could just slow all this down. Let's kind of put things back into what my five senses can understand, because, so I kind of get that as a little bit of that wobbly feeling where the ego's like, whoa, Costolini, bro, like, can we just chill with the magic for just a little bit? Like, can we just like put some of those miracles on hold? Because I don't know if I'm ready for all of this, because it seems kind of like uncharted territory. It could get a little weird, a little scary. I mean, what's beyond? I mean, there's some good stuff, but what if there's really bad stuff? I don't know. That's the ego. It gets scared. So sometimes we have to have a little chit chat. Say, it's okay. It's okay, little ego. I got you. um, let's see. Lilith was wondering if it was Maine Coon. Maine Coon is also a big, beautiful cat. Oh, I remember Bengal kitty. But Maine Coon, also beautiful kitty. Actually, all the kitties are beautiful, from house kitties to lions, tigers, pumas, jaguars. Yeah, I like all the kitties, big and small, bobcats. Cosmelia says, ooh, you mean with the girl? Could be. Could be. Wink, wink. Very happy Mondays. Said Silver Star, did you prepare it yourself or buy it ready to go? Oh, the fermented foods. Um, Anna Costolini says, crazy how you did that. Says, when you're very happy, when Very Happy Mondays mentioned the yin and yang, that kind of gave me the same feels. She has that as a tattoo. Oh, really? It's so synchronistic in our Sunday live chats. I dig it. Like, I dig it. um, Silver Star says Savannah Cat is beautiful too. Oh, Savannah Cat. Also, you know what? Maybe I don't care about a particular breed, because I love all the breeds, all the kitties. I mean, I made friends with a mountain lion, Miss Mountain Lion, Mama Mountain Lion. So I don't know, whichever, kitty in the future was like, hey, I'd like to come home with you. I'm like, cool, hop in or jump on my shoulders. I don't know. Um, Lilith says, puzzle piece hiding kitties. Yes, I'll take some puzzle piece hiding kitties. um, and Very Happy Monday says, awesome tattoo. A vibe one's not likely to outgrow. Definitely. Silver Star says, me too, love kitty cats. Says, oh yeah, and then she says she does make her own fermented, like, honey and onions and garlic and things like that. So Silver Star is really, really good with all of that. She is little nature witchy over there. Green witch. Okay, so before we dive into our Aurora Borealis light language session, integrating those codes, I think, okay, so Costolini said it was okay if I told his story. Okay. Costolini, please correct me if I get something wrong, because I'm trying to remember the text messages. I can't look right now because it's on my phone. So the gist of it was that there was an attempted break-in in his car. And so there was some electrical damage that got done because they were trying to hotwire the car. And apparently there were several other car break-ins, but the thieves had ended up leaving their cell phone behind in one of the vehicles. And when that was brought to, I think it's like the apartment manager, whoever's in charge over there, they immediately recognized the people that were on the cell phone's like lock screen. It's like, photograph of two people. And so they were recognized, couldn't really give out, bunch of information about them, but it seemed like they knew who those people were. So hopefully they got caught. So Costellini was saying that because of that, he went in and I think he was going to go get a quote on a new vehicle. And he was reminding me that one of the readings that I had done for him was saying that in November, there something would happen that would cause him to get a new vehicle. And I kept saying, black Dodge Challenger. So he thought it would be really interesting. He even showed me, the picture and everything. I was just like, whoa. So it's like an unfortunate event. I don't want anybody to, be the victim of thieves or have their cars broken into, but at the same time it's like he's getting something pretty cool, which is an energy that he's shifting into, and also it's like almost like confirmation of your path, that sometimes something that at the time could be like a nightmare, the 8 of Swords of just like, or even the 9 of Swords, just like, what is happening? Why did this happen to me? And then something really cool actually comes from it. And then justice is served, which is even cooler. Let's see. So let's go back here. Oh, Silver Star says, I watched this gal. So she put a link there if you guys would like to check it out, talking about some of the fermented foods. And Lilith Phoenix said, juicy. And Very Happy Monday said, thanks so much. Silver Star Priestess says she has great recipes for good health, recipes, etc., and fermented foods. And Lilith Phoenix says, what a mistake to make. Oh, yes. And Silver Star said, so welcome. So yeah, I would say that our friend Costellini had quite the week. But yeah, like I said, everybody share, because some of us are, it's like, the week was like whatevs, and some of us had some unfortunate things happen. Some people had some crazy awesome things happen. So, so definitely share. And Costellini, thank you for letting me share your story. And do let me know what I got wrong. So I probably didn't retell all of it quite correctly. Costellini says, you nailed the story 100, really shows how you can turn any circumstance into something that benefits you. Also, hearing the prediction probably helped keep me calm. That I have found that helps too. Like sometimes I'll do like readings for myself, and then literally the reading is unfolding and I'm like, okay, all right, we knew this. Okay. It's all good in the hood. Lilith said, new car, not too shabby. Costellini says, may have missed the part about them kissing and the Bible notification. oh yeah, I couldn't figure out if I saw the picture of the two people kissing, but I couldn't figure out if Bible notification was on their phone or if it was on your phone. I don't know. But I was just like, very interesting. It's like, and to put your picture on, I mean, I'm not trying to say be a craftier thief. I'm just saying, as a thief, you would think that you wouldn't put your picture on the lock screen of your cell phone and possibly your accomplice and then leave it at the crime scene, But hey, yay for not so bright thieves. And hopefully they learned something, or if it was just one person, hopefully he learned something, maybe that was something they needed to learn on their path, and maybe that like transmuted their energy and they're going a whole new different path where they won't do that. I don't know. Lilith says, You'd think you wouldn't lose your phone either. Gosh. Um, Costelina says, Jesus never said anything about auto jacking. Well, I mean, probably don't covet your neighbor's property, that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm sure he wouldn't be too keen on that, going and jacking other folks, carjacking. Okay, so I said that I wanted to tell you why at the very beginning of this chat. I was saying that I was going to do a light language activation integration for the real Aurora Borealis. That is because for many people around the world, not just the United States, but around the world, they saw the Aurora Borealis. It was seen in places that don't normally see the Aurora Borealis. Usually, where you see it is like in Alaska and other places kind of up in that northern region, not just Alaska, but it's this beautiful display of like greens and colors, and it's just like so like moving. I have never had the privilege of witnessing the actual Aurora Borealis, but what I see in videos and everything, it just looks amazing. It's just this, just this ethereal, just moving, colors, so like effervescence. And then people started seeing Aurora Borealis where they don't normally see it. And there's actually our friend Laura, who lives on our property with us. She took a picture of the Aurora Borealis. It was big red sky that kind of like moved a little bit, and was like, well, that's interesting. And people in southern Australia were also seeing the Aurora Borealis. People in the southern hemisphere. It's like, well, that is interesting. So I decided to do a little bit of sleuthing on the interwebs, and it turns out that some scientists over at HARP decided to run some experiments for 4 days. So it wasn't quite put out on all publications that we'd be doing these experiments. They kind of want to see how people would react to what they saw in the sky. And also they're just trying to, they said, just learn about this, this mechanism and how it, works with particles and stuff. It's kind of beyond my scientific level of knowledge, but they said that they wanted to see how they could maybe shift the sky, what you see in the sky, change the weather a little bit. They're just kind of playing around with stuff. And they said that they did this before, I think before we even had HARP. It was something else that they were working on back in 2005. I think it was January of 2005. And they said that they had some brief success creating a fake Aurora Borealis. And they said that it proved to be beneficial, these experiments. They said, because think about what we could do with this technology. We could power entire cities, we wouldn't have to rely on electricity anymore. So they thought this would be a great thing. And also, they said we could use it for advertisements. What if you could put an advertisement in the sky and it could be seen all around the world? And it's like, really, that's what my sky needs, is a sky billboard. But then I was thinking, well, what if people had a more nefarious agenda? It wasn't just to, help people have light in their homes and whatever, make money off of folks by having sky billboards and marketing schemes. But think about what, not just in like the Christian Bible, but I believe it's also in other religious texts, that when something is genuine and true, that it would be able to be seen around the world. And in the Christian Bible, that Jesus says that when he returns, everybody would know it because everybody would see it. Well, what if we were creating the technology and I was not such a good person and I wanted to dupe people? What if I put the image of Jesus up into the sky and now everybody around the world thinks that that's really him, So I don't know. It's getting real weird in Matrix land, which is why we have to be, that's probably why we had the reading that we did about not looking outwardly for that confirmation, but really feeling it on the inside, going inwards to the soul, connecting to that source, to that God energy. So very interesting. So we did have the Aurora Borealis for 4 days, but I want to tap into the real Aurora Borealis, as real as our 3D existence can be. But the real Aurora Borealis, the one that is seen, in different parts of like Canada and Alaska, and I think even in Washington and Oregon, but up in those places, I want to connect to that energy, because I really feel, not that it's an entity, but that it's a part of the energy of the earth, and she has something to say. And I feel like the coding coming through that I'm going to be doing for this light language activation, is about keeping our spiritual eyes open, so that we're not duped by our outside world. Our five senses easily duped. The sixth sense, not so much. That's why the sixth sense is shunned, because, well, everybody knows anybody who has an agenda knows that is the hardest sense to dupe, because it's our soul's sense. So let's go ahead and get ready for that light language activation. And let me go back and look what you guys said. Silver Star says, I'm having deja vu. And Very Happy Monday says, ruh-roh, evil geniuses playing with the sky again. I know, right? Can they just leave my sky alone, please? And Lilith said, glitch in the matrix. Silver Star says, I swear I've lived this before. Silver Star, I'm having deja vu like crazy. This whole past week, I'm like, I feel like that already happened. I feel like that was already said. I'm like, okay, well, all right. Maybe it's just all the timelines like merging. And, I feel like the waking world and the dream world are like, there's almost no distinction anymore. Lilith's like blue beam shenanigans. That's what my friend Lily said. She was like, and enter Project Blue Beam. Lilith said, projecting things on the dome feels very Hunger Gamey. Yes. I select you as tribute. All right. There's something else I was going to tell you guys. Oh, okay. Before we do our light language activation, let me tell you just one more story about my weird week. And Very Happy Monday says, not relying on your two eyes alone. That message is carrying over from last week a bit, perhaps. Yes. And I feel it's, when it comes to energy and the readings that we get, it's not like, it doesn't just end from Sunday to Saturday, right? It's like they kind of just bleed out, because really where we get our messages from, time doesn't exist. So it just kind of bleeds. All right. Okay. So first of all, I want to say that I joined my friend Dana Clemente's container. Yes, she has this, it's called Liberation, and she's been having it on her Instagram, where she's been like promoting it, and you can find her at Spoonful of Healing on Instagram. And so, wonderful human. She, this is like a space to allow people to be more authentic, really trying to journal and look into the places within ourselves where we're afraid to be more free, or we're afraid to express ourselves. And so she has various ways for people to kind of come together and chat, either through kind of like a text message type chat, but not, it's like a, what's it called? Telegram, on Telegram, also through Zoom. And, so it was wonderful. And one of her questions was asking about a place that we might feel inauthentic, but it's not because we want to dupe other people. It's just that we're afraid to be authentically ourselves. And it could be something really small, it could be something really big. But she was asking us to share. And I said, well, so I said, here's the story of a lovely lady. So I was driving to the post office. I had some desert cauldron packages to drop off. And I had the radio cranked and I was singing to the top of my lungs. And in that moment, I really didn't care what people thought of me as, this girl in her sweats just singing to the top of her lungs. And I don't care if they liked my music or not. I'm going to enjoy myself on the way to the post office. And so I was just in this energy of like just totally being free, because I know that for a lot of my life, I had trouble speaking out, which is also another reason why I started a YouTube channel, is because I wanted to force myself to be me in front of people that I don't know, and not hide, not hide in my little home in San Diego. And so I decided to be more open about like my beliefs and just my weirdness. And, and at first it was pretty scary, because there were some people that, are like, oh, that's not good. But really what they were doing was showing me where my own belief system, my own shadows lie. That's all that they were doing, pointing it out. We might call them trolling, and they are, but at the same respect, they're also teaching me something. They're showing me something. And interesting, I'm trying to talk about throat chakra stuff, and now my throat's like, why are you putting me on blast right now? Because I can. Anyway, so I'm just like in this really good energy, and I'm listening to was it She Fucking Hates Me by Puddle of Mud. And so I want the next song to be Bad Habit by The Offspring. I just really love that song because, well, in that song, it's just like a slew of curse words. And sometimes it just feels really good to just like, just say a string of obscenities. I don't know. So I'm like, I said it out loud. I want the next song to be Bad Habit by The Offspring. I have literally like a couple hundred songs on my phone, all in shuffle mode. The next song, Bad Habit by The Offspring, comes on. I was like, oh yeah. And I knew that in the energy that I was in, that was like confirmation. It was like the external and the internal confirmation of like, you're doing exactly what you were meant to do, which was to be authentically you. Like, why would you be somebody else? Like, otherwise you would have been somebody else, but you're not. We're all here to be our little weird selves, that's who we're, and to do our missions, and to, whatever our purpose may be. But it doesn't help us to hide in the expectations of others, because those others are also hiding in the expectations of others. They might find it hard to be genuine and authentic as well, which is why they project onto other people and say, no, that's so weird. Don't do that. Like, but it's just, if everybody's a mirror for us, then really it's just reflecting back to us where we need to let go, where we need to trust and release, So I thought I'd share that story with you guys before we got into our Aurora Borealis light language sesh. So let's see. Lilith says, may the odds be ever in your favor. Yes. Very Happy Monday says, merging, shifting, sinking, flowing. The universe is universing hard. Tell me about it. And Very Happy Mondays, yeah, the Brady Bunch. Here's a story of a man named Brady. Melissa's Tara's weirdness is my weekly grounding to reality. Oh, well, you're welcome. Hey, our buddy John is here. What's up, dude? Melissa's, hope you brought the jelly. Yes. Okay, let's do this, y'all. Okay. John says royal jelly today. Oh, nice. Okay. So again, the connection is to Earth's Aurora Borealis, not the man-made Aurora Borealis, and integrating those codes of not only authenticity, but keeping our spiritual eyes open to the world and the world beyond the world around us. Okay? So And I've noticed in a lot of my light language stuff, it seems like it taps more into my singing voice. So that's cool. Enjoy. Hope I don't break any glasses. Alrighty. Una 말이 말이 요리들어는 그라무네리 말이 슐라미아 이름 말이 마루 둘이 말 야리 야리 오리kia 두라부 열의 말 둘이 말이 열이미야 두라부 가주 야두 야두 예레마 두루루 예레마 두루루 예레부 누르부 열어봐 열임에 두리마리 열임에 두려부 열임에 두리마리 열이마 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 저리마 슈가리니 마시 가라 오시 슈기 말이 뭐나 잠깐만 두레버루라고 저리버루라고 열이버 두리버 열이말 유레버 열이말 두리말이 열어마 두라고 예림이 셔리말이 열어마이 두라무 셔라미 가래쇼 가는메로 모셔모 머리에 가래쇼 머리케랑 마시모 머리비랑 머리케 고라비랑 머리쇼 머리케랑 머리보랑 머리쇼 메아미쇼 메아리무 너너리무 메머리루 메슈레무 마슈레무 메르시보 이보네무 바게 가로 버레시가 나레보 버게 버게보 버레시라 바레보 버게라 마테보 버레시라 마테보 버게라 마리슈 버레카레 미레슈 마카레 베타슈 버레카레 미나부 나리가 먼저라고 베저리먼 맹호레보 조 마 마우 마우 매우 샤루 매우 샤라우 메리부 샤라우 Veno jamu Shalembu Meru Tetravu Meju Valevu Shikamare Chikavu Meshi Shainamu Nare Pare Kishavu Ale Shnebu Nevoy Hare Mari Shirabu Hare Mari Shirabu Hare Mari Shirabu Hare Mari Shirabu Oh, alrighty. Well, okay. Well, let me have some tea. Come back to planet Earth. Wow. The energy of like real Aurora is like, oh my gosh, that was so much fun to connect to. It was like being in a dream and like moving and shifting to different facets of a dream. I can't really explain it. But I feel really good. I feel really grounded now. I feel like, yes, we're here now. um, okay. Let's see. Oh, John was saying hello to Silver Star Priestess. Oh, Lilith, that's right. I forgot to grab the crystal of the week. We'll do that, and then we'll go into our super chats and super stickers after I grab us a crystal for sure. Costalini says, better trademark those lyrics. I know, right? Lilith said, pretty. Hundwanderer says, you have Charlie's full attention. Oh, Char. Lilith says, felt like Narnia. Ooh, yeah, it was like this like dream. I don't know, it's just like moving from dream to dream. And I put the dog to sleep. So yeah, Vader's asleep over there. If it did anything else, it put animals to sleep. So okay. Okay. While I continue to come back to Earth, I will grab us a crystal. So come over here to my crystal collection. All right, so we'll choose one just kind of based on our intuition. Do I feel like there's anything in this box? No. Okay. Putting this box to the side. Anything in this box? No. Okay. All right. Anything in this box? No. Okay. We'll just keep going box to box. Very Happy Monday says copyright is a thing. That was a lovely trip, respectively. Okay. Anything in here? Negative. All right. Anything in here? All right, we do have something in here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just kind of put my hand over. I'm not so good with my crystals that I know exactly what's where, so that's helping out with my keeping my ego at bay. What do we have here? Ooh, all righty. Herkimer diamond, you guys. Herkimer diamonds come out of Herkimer, New York. They are a type of clear quartz. Sometimes has bits of inclusions in them, but for the most part, people love them for their clarity, for being able to cut through the BS to truly see something. And they help to remind us of that. And I believe this one has, yes, there's a piece on here where there used to be a piece of the quartz, but it broke off and it healed. So that's pretty cool. Let's see if there's anything else. Ooh, there's another little like belly button in here. So that's pretty cool. And I love what our crystal allies teach us, that they don't do the work for us. You know, I'm never like, you know, grab a Herkimer. I'm like, okay, go see clearly for me. But more a reminder that I can do this for myself. And, you know, and everything that I learn while in the presence of this crystal also learns as well, because I do feel that there are energies within here that are also learning just as we are learning. And so it's kind of like we just remind each other of our power and what we're able to do. And sometimes we need to be reminded that we can see beyond our two peepers, you know? So, all right. Okay, Herky, let's keep you out because you're going to be helping to remind us this week. So you're going to be right on the altar, right there. Okay. I'll put these guys back. All right. Ta-da! Okay. All right, let's move our... there we go. Already, much better. Let's see, Lola said pretty. So yeah, a little Herky going to be working with us this week. Very Happy Monday says, sounded like you weren't singing alone. If you listen back, you can mix a Bjork-esque opus. Is your throat chakra better after your channeling? It is. I don't feel like that, like I'm trying to talk. I feel like it's really open and it's really relaxed. I kind of feel, well, I mean, I would give myself props and be like, wow, my tea really relaxed me. But no, it goes beyond what my tea could do. I feel like I'm grounded. I'm on the planet right now. Like my throat is just open. Like what ifs? I'm me. I'm just me. John says, I was feeling like interference frequencies were important with this activation. Like those specific frequencies were gently helping us to feel ourself and feel and self-correct. Yeah, definitely. I definitely felt the gentleness, almost like, come back here, like, come on, we're going this way. Just, it's all right. You know, almost like, yeah, kind of like how we view the Aurora Borealis, just the whoo. It just felt like that, but not a pushover. Like really wise yet gentle. It was awesome. John says, maybe that's just me though. No, I get that. Like the interference frequencies, for us to be able to see that, you know, not just with our two eyes, but with the third eye, with the soul's eye, the sixth sense, which, like we were saying, it's harder to dupe the sixth sense. Five senses, easy. I mean, think about like our sense of smell, easily duped. That's why they create synthetic perfumes to smell like the thing, but it's not the actual thing. So it can be changed, you know. Science is in our food to enhance the flavors because our taste buds are easily duped, you know. Sound can be duped, and obviously illusionists have made a killing off of duping people with their very eyes, so and sometimes what feels like cashmere is actually some sort of polypropylene, so all of those things can be duped, but the sixth sense, not so much. Very Happy Monday says naturally powerful. Wow. All right, so Lilith sent a PayPal donation. Yay, thank you. So yeah, let's dive into those super chats and super stickers. So I have all of my decks out that I'm working with for this week. So yeah, if you want me to look into a specific question that you have, or maybe just some general guidance, maybe I'm getting a message from Aurora Borealis. I almost said David Borealis, but I don't think he's been a thing since 1999. Or 2000, I don't know. It's been a hot minute. But no, Aurora Borealis. So, okay. So Lilith says, my question is long and complex. Well, go ahead. We're here for it. Very Happy Monday says, we're living in a dupe world. Well, the external world. But luckily, the real world's right here. In the energy, not necessarily inner body, but inner energy, because that energy is God, source, whatever name you want to give it, the creator. Let's see. Okay. So Lilith said, okay, come to find out, someone I've been getting to know is a friend by 5 degrees of separation of a karmic that I was involved with in another lifetime within this lifetime, if you catch my drift. Gotcha. And has been delivering news about me back to Karmicville, my fandom of haters, so to say. Please enlighten me of their intentions and what kind of cup the Pisces was trying to offer. Okay, it says, also wondering if you can keep them at a distance, block them somehow. Please and thank you. All right, we will take a look into that. And Very Happy Monday says, I rebuke the dupes. I rebuke them as well. Yes, I'm with you on that one. All right, and then we'll get into Costalini's question. Okay, so let me reread your question, Lilith. Just making sure I have all of it before I pull you a card. Okay. 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 So how to keep them at a distance and block them. Alrighty. I got you. I got you. Okay. What deck do I want? Okay. I'm going to use my Magical Hours Tarot. Okay. And we will have another sip. For the homies, of course. Okay. Let me just take my little tea bag out. Sophomoric. Okay. Ooh, hot, hot, hot. Okay, put you in this little dinky doo. Much more better. Okay. Okay. Lilith, let's see what's on the spiritual radio. The Awakening, channel 111.1. Let's see. Really? Okay. Well, okay. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that group, but okay. Bam, 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 bam. I've been running around, hear you screaming my name. All right. Dear, 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 dear. But something, 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 do, 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 do. All right. All you people, can't you see how your love's affecting my reality? Every time we're down, you can make it right, and that makes you larger than life. All right, so Backstreet Boys, larger than life. Beer, 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 beer. I've been looking around. Do, 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 do. Okay, so let's see what that has to do with the friend of the karmic sending intel back to the karmic and how we can keep them at bay. So maybe how we could shift your frequency so they are not aligned with your frequency. Okay. All right. Ooh, we have the Five of Swords. Interesting. So we have this girl stuck back here, but then we have this other person kind of going through the door. Looks much brighter, happier, leaving behind this pile of swords in this grayscale universe. Okay. Wow. Okay. So, I don't feel malicious intent with this person that you've been getting to know. It's more that this person likes not drama in the sense where like people are always fighting, but they kind of like being a part of like somebody's like soap opera almost, so to speak. So it's like, oh, well, I know you, but I also know this person. Oh, there's like, they got, kind of issue, kind of going on. Well, that's interesting. Now I feel like wow, even Vader had something to say about that. He was like groaning. He was like, oh, yeah, I get it. So it's like when the person feels how do I put it? It builds their self-esteem in this way where they feel like, ooh, I have intel that would make this person like me more. And also this person will like me too, but they're like feeding me intel that's going to help this other person. So it's almost like that's how they build their self-confidence. And that's actually what they're working on is their self-confidence, but they're looking for external validation to be self-confident. So what builds them up is being wanted or needed by others. So not necessarily they want to gossip about other people. It just so happens that this situation happens to be a gossipy situation where I'm getting intel from Lilith, and then I'm going to take it on over to this person who's going to get some, information. And it seems like they really like me because I'm doing that for them. But also they really like you too. So it's not that they're trying to be mean to you or they want to, I'm on this person's side and we're going to hurt you. I don't feel that at all. I just feel like it's a person with real low self-confidence, self-identity. They don't really know who they are yet. And so they like to be wanted and needed by other people. So if somebody which is dangerous because some people will use them for nefarious reasons, but in their mind, they feel good because this person wants me. They need me. So right now this person's feeling really needed and wanted. And so that's why they're getting that information from you and passing it on. And it's not so much that they have anything against you or that they want, a conflict between you and Karmicville over there. It's more, that's just how I build my self-confidence. And so in order to keep them at arm's length, I would say going inwards and seeing anywhere inside. Sometimes we don't think that exists anymore, but maybe there was a time where you felt really low in your self-confidence or you struggled with self-identity. And maybe you've outgrown that, but there might be still some little bit, aspects somewhere deep inside there. And that's what this person is reflecting to you right now is this person quite literally is being used by this other person in order to feel confident. So think back in your own background. When have you been manipulated by others, but you didn't know you're being manipulated by others? You just knew that, it felt really good to be a part of something, be a part of somebody's team, or, that people really wanted you and it seemed like they were really needed you, but they were really using you. And so it's understanding what that looks like now in another person, because it's harder for us to see it in ourselves. So now we can see it in another person. You can say, okay, oh, okay, well, I released that. I don't need that anymore, and forgive everybody who was ever involved in any sort of manipulation of that matter. And I think that's why that Backstreet Boys song came on, "Larger Than Life." um, because in the song they said, I hear people screaming my name, so basically it's their fans, all the fans. Oh my gosh, Backstreet Boys, you're so good. You're so hot, or whatever. And so that builds their self-confidence. It makes them feel larger than life. But what happens when all the fans are gone? Then it's like, who are they? So think about if Karmicville wasn't there and you weren't there, this person would never be able to see in themselves that they're eventually, hopefully, they'll be able to see that, if I allow my confidence to come from other people, I could be easily manipulated by others. And so in this, we would send healing and love to that person, healing and love to maybe whoever you were in the past, whatever situation it might have been, whoever was involved in that situation, and just realize those souls came in to show you that so that you could actually build real, true self-confidence, real, true identity, instead of how you identify as it's, relates to other people. So I hope that makes sense. And once you do that, once you release that, I don't feel like this person's going to be much a part of your world anymore. So, and also you have the ability to put down your boundaries too and be like, okay, you know what? I'm just, we're nothing against you. I'm going a different direction with my vibe. you know? All right. Let's see. Let's go back here. I hope that makes sense. Thank you. Thank you so much, Lilith. Um, Very Happy Monday says, bless our worlds. Yes. Silver Star says, y'all have a beautiful day. I do have to get going. Have a blessed week. Same to you, my friend. Have a great week. Lilith said, see you soon, Silver Star. Very Happy Mondays, sending Silver Star off with peace and joy. Lilith is giggling, says, think this is the second time Backstreet Boys came through. I mean, maybe they have lyrics that we could all learn something from, but I don't know why we're on the Backstreet Boys station, but cool. Very Happy Money says, that's right, Lilith Phoenix. And Melissa says, makes a lot of sense. Thank you, Tara, for bringing intel that helps us expand our views. You are very, very welcome, my friend. Okay, let's see. Let's go back here to our buddy Costalini. Can you play mechanic on this car? The VIN is, and we have the VIN number there. It showed up today on Carvana and can be delivered to me. Looks too good to be true. Aha. Is it like where they're like, oh, we have this pretty badass car, but I'll take $3,000 for it. Turns out it's like missing the engine. Well, okay, so I'll do kind of a diagnostic of the car, just like I do on people. Like when I do a people scan, a human scan, I go through everything. I look at the bones, I look at organs, soft tissue, circulatory system, nerve endings, skin, external stuff. But I could do the same for the car, and I have before. So let's do it. Let's have a little sip of tea here. Okay, Costalini. Let's see. What's on channel 111.1, The Awakening? We need a better name for our radio station, perhaps. Something cheeky. Wow. Okay. Metallica. Give me fuel, give me five. Oh my gosh, it's like headbanging music. Um, give me fuel, give me five. Wow. Oh, there's another song coming in. Well, that's interesting. Maybe that's happened a couple of times, but it's like, um, oh gosh, what's the other band? It's Jumpstart My Heart. So Metallica and the other band that sings Jumpstart My Heart is like coming through. So it's a lot of like really fast paced, like, like headbanger's ball type music. Yes. Um, but let's look at the car. Why am I hearing things going? Why is the music so fast? Not that it's just a fast car. No, I want to look a little deeper. So let's look at the body. Hmm. The chassis may have had a little bit of damage. Driver side and rear passenger side. It's almost like it went bam, bam. But it's been fixed or straightened out as best it could be. Um, Wheels are good. Electronics look okay. Looks like there used to be something inside the car. Could have been extra gadgets that they put in there and they took out, so there might be a few wires left from those gadgets, but I don't think it messes with your electronics in any way. Okay, let's look at the heart of the beast. Let's see here. Spark plugs look good. Headers look pretty clean. Pistons. This car's really been pushed. Somebody had a lot of fun in this car. um, it, Something's dirty in one of the fluids. Let me see. It might have an oil leak. Mm, not a big oil leak. I don't, but you might smell oil burning after the car's been driven. There was previously some like trying to just make the car sound louder. So the exhaust system was modified a little bit at some point, but I think they tried to put it back to stock because I think they took that modified system and put it on a different car. Okay, so other than it looks like it was driven pretty hard and may have hit something, a bit of a fender bender that bent the frame a little bit, but I think they tried to straighten it out a little bit. And it having a little bit of an oil leak. I don't see too much else wrong with the vehicle. Okay. Okay, so let's pull a card though. Okay. Costolini's like, well, like 30,000. Car MRI. Ooh, 10 of Swords. Some really, I think that's because of the the damage to the frame. Um, yeah, and the fact that this it's not like I don't feel this car was babied at all. They wanted to drive this car hard. They wanted to like, you know, turn it into something, which is why they may have had previous like electronics, like extra, I don't know, speedometers or, you know, something to gauge the RPM or something just, you know, up on the dash. But they took that stuff out. So they took out what they had originally put into it. So I think they took the updated exhaust, they took that out and put it back to stock. And that oil leak. So it does smell kind of burning when the car's been running for a while. Um, so yeah, I mean, but like I don't feel like it's not going to run or that it's going to stall or anything, but definitely could use a little bit of love under the hood. Um, just like a little tune-up, maybe a replacement of the fluids. Maybe, you know, changing out tranny fluid, coolant, just do a whole drain of it because it just feels like they really pushed the car and hit the car. But yeah, so I hope that that makes sense. Okay. But yeah, otherwise, it's not like it doesn't run. It has an engine in it. So, um, okay. Yeah, Lilith was like, I hope it's not missing an engine. Lilith's like, well, rock and roll. Um, oh, Lilith says we can call it 144 Spirit Song FM. um, all right, so John, let me know what your question is. Be happy to pull a card for you. Costolini says, seems like I should avoid it, right? Feels like they beat it hard, only 23,000 miles, so I figured it would have been gentle. I don't feel like this car went on any road trips. So anytime it was taken out, it was taken out to basically push it to its limit. Um, so you may want to put that on the, I mean, it's up to you. If you can live with it needing a little bit of love under the hood, or, you know, just, you know, don't want the frame bent in any way, even though they tried their best to like make it look nice again, or any sort of oil leak, might want to keep looking. But yeah, other than that, I feel like, yeah, it's got low miles. Like, yeah, there's not a lot of miles on the engine itself, but the engine was pushed to its limit many times. So yeah, so I guess you just gotta weigh, you know, if you're okay with that. But no, babied it was not. Babied it was not. um, Very Happy Monday says, you said jumpstart my heart. Were you hearing Motley Crue's kickstart my heart? Yes, kickstart my heart. There you go. I don't know why I said jumpstart, but yeah, kickstart. Maybe I'm thinking of a jumpstart because I was thinking of cars. Yeah, kickstart. That's right. If so, the word jumpstart is relevant, maybe. Probably why. Oh, yes. Probably don't want to jumpstart this car. Costolini, you are very welcome. John said, solar body check-in. All right, will do. And Riley said, if the frame has been bent, then it should be sold as a salvage title. If that's not listed, they're not being honest. And Very Happy Monday says, both songs start with lyrics about fuel. Maybe a fuel line is relevant. Yeah, probably also why I was getting like oil leak too, even though oil is not the fuel, but yeah, some sort of leak. And it's like, you know, probably why I was getting like such fast paced music is because this car was like, just like all over the place. Okay, so solar body check in. Let's go. Channel 144, Spirit Body FM. There we go. the soul. Oh, wow, John, I haven't heard this song in a while. One Headlight by the Wallflowers. Hey, 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 come on, come and live a little. There's something gotta be something better than in the middle. Maybe it's in the middle. Oh, maybe it is One Headlight. I don't know what the name of the song is, but you understand what I'm trying to sing. One headlight. Yeah, it is One Headlight. Doo-doo, doo-doo, doo-doo. But the engine wouldn't turn. Interesting. Now I'm getting the Broken Car Down song, but um, One Headlight, Solar Body. Okay. Well, okay. So let's see what we have here. Ooh, the Nine of Cups. Well, that's a fun card. I wouldn't expect to get that with a song about one headlight, but let's tap in. Okay, so John, you're literally, at least your solar body is literally embodying the suggestion for this upcoming week. Well, although it's not just for this week. I feel like your body's kind of already been doing this for, at least a week or two. Um, and that is looking at the true things that have been lighting you up. So think about the song by the Wallflowers. You know, the guy who's singing, he doesn't seem like he's really upset by, this car that sometimes doesn't start. It's only got one headlight, but he's happy, and he's going along. And anybody on the outside looking at him would be like, man, your car is junky. Like, man, just get a new car. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, how could you possibly be happy with a car like that? But that's not what makes him happy. It gets him from point A to point B. But it's how he's feeling. He says got to be something better than in the middle. So it's like he's realized that there's something better than me trying to get my happiness through these external things. And so your solar body has is starting to pick up on the people that are around you. It's the certain vibration that you get from those other people, a certain vibration of the places that you go to. And although, yes, you already know this, you're like, well, yeah, of course, I know that, certain people light me up and, certain situations light me up. But now your solar body is coming to the realization that it's not the people, and it's not the place, and it's not even sitting in nature, but it's how your energy is reflected in those people and that situation and in nature. And so you're realizing you can shift your own frequency. You don't need the other people to shift it for you. You don't need the place to shift it for you. You don't need the trees to shift it for you. You can shift it because you're coming back to your true authentic self. You're connecting to, people call it source, people call it God, that creator energy, that thing that's us all one, the divine energy. You're coming back to it, and that's the truth, and that's what truly makes you happy, truly lights you up, makes your soul happy. Anyway, maybe not the ego so much, but the soul is lit up right now. The soul is happy. The soul's like, I don't care what your financial situation looks like. I don't care the home that you live in or what your car looks like or how bougie your wardrobe is. It's you're remembering who you truly are, and that is the soul. That is your energy, your frequency. um, and that everybody is really, really is just a mirror. And I know you know that at a conscious level, but I think your subconscious is starting to catch up to your conscious, your conscious self. Hence why I think we have this 9 of Cups. All right. I dig that. I could dig it. John's like, I'll take it. Okay. Nice. Yeah. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Gotta be something better than in the middle. Very Happy Monday says, yay, awesome station named Lilith Phoenix. So yeah, it's our channel 144 Spirit Song FM. All right. Thank you, John. And thank you, Costalini. Thank you, Lilith Phoenix, for allowing me to pull cards for you. Let me know if anybody else would like a card pull. I'd be happy to do so. And then, hey, we'll go into our channel guided meditation. John, you're very welcome. Man, I will tell you, I still am feeling those Aurora vibes. I'm like, heck yeah. I feel like I'm like in just a flow right now. I will say that earlier today I was messing around with my my Starlink. I had originally gotten a Starlink when I moved up to my property in the mountains, and it's so rural that we don't really get like internet. I mean, it's a small signal, but you get a signal up there. But if you wanted a better signal, you would have to get Starlink, and so I never took it out of the box. Literally today is the first day I actually cut the tape on the box and I took it out because I got an email that says that if you don't do this update on your device, then it just won't work. And I was thinking of maybe selling it. And so I don't want to sell it to somebody and then it doesn't work for them, So I was like, oh, okay. So I'm like, trying to update it and everything. But I don't know. It's just, I have this shadow with technology and I have to go back inwards and see like why it's there, not just in this lifetime, but I feel like it's previous lifetimes. I don't know. And I know that technology can mean a vast many things. But for me, it's like, I don't know what it is. It's like Starlink, it's computers. And although I utilize computers, obviously, to run a YouTube channel and make videos, and I love using computers to connect to people, and I love using my phone for the same purpose. It's like, I don't know, I have this like love-hate relationship where like I just would rather not have a computer and not have a phone and just go be a hermit in the forest somewhere. But but I know it's like that's just running away from a shadow. So that shadow came up, and so I was like, I was kind of like in a pissy mood. But now, after I did my light language activation, I'm just like, everything's all good, man. It's all good. Let's see. Costalini says, oh, can I do just a general, like the card of the day? Sure can. Sure. Lilith says, giggles. It's a light vibe. Okay, so Costalini, let's dive in. Ooh, I feel like we need to use a different deck. I feel like I need to use my Sacred Forest Oracle. Okie dokie. And John says, I still use pen and ink to keep notes and sometimes shoot film. I'm very nostalgic and romantic about things. Me too. I have fountain pens. I have a fountain pen collection. I've always like, when I was little, I would literally go out and find bird feathers so I could try to have like a bird feather in ink. Cause I was like, and I wanted to write by candlelight, and I like writing letters to people, and even though I might send cards, I write a nice long letter in that card. And I just feel it's like much more special than email. But I know that there's a time and place for email and a time and place for written messages. But yeah, I get you. And I have film that still needs to get developed for my 35mm camera. I have a Minolta that my aunt gave me back in like the late 90s, maybe early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s. So I need to develop that film. The film is not from late 90s, early 2000s. I think I bought that film like 3 years ago in Tempe, where they still have like a photography shop. I was like, what the heck? But yeah, I need to get that developed. Let's see. Lilith is tired. Rather be sending us the monthly newsletter by pigeon. I sure would. And John says, guess I need to romanticize the future too. Pen pals? Heck yeah. You know what? Do I still have, no, I mean, I'm still friends with my pen pal, but now she wanted to be on Facebook and I kind of still wanted to write letters. And I was like, but she was my pen pal since 3rd grade. And I used to have a pen pal in Germany. And then he went off he joined the German military, and then I didn't hear from him again. So I don't know. But yeah, I used to have a couple pen pals. I love being a pen pal. Okay. So Costolini. You keep saying you got something for me. Something, something better not bet. do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. These boots are made for walking, and that's just what they'll do. 'Cause one of these days, these boots are gonna walk all over you. Do, 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 do. I can hear the rest of the song. I just can't hear all the lyrics of the rest of the song. But yeah, it's Nancy Sinatra. Boots are made for walking. Interesting. Why is that your card? Oh, ho, ho. Okay. Storm Spirit. Chaos. Alrighty. All right. So Storm Spirit, Chaos, and these boots are made for walking. Okay. Okay. So your higher self is like, we know, I don't know why it says we, maybe because it's talking about like as in the royal we, collective consciousness, the all is one, we, that we are trying to come back to the true authentic self, right? The spirit self. But understand, there was a reason we incarnated into earth. It was to have an earthly experience. And your soul is saying you can still have an earthly experience while still holding no attachment to that earthly experience, if that makes sense. I think it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but I kind of get it. So where it's saying you can enjoy being a human. You can enjoy, the foods, the sights, the smells, the tastes, the friends, the lessons, the concrete jungle and then the real jungle. Like you can experience all those things and have fun and enjoy yourself. But you could also, what your soul is trying to help you do right now is to not identify 100% of yourself with that experience. So it's understanding that Costolini was born from this mom and this dad, and he went to school here, and he likes spicy foods sometimes, depends on the food, but really likes Italian food too, and just like really likes this and likes this. And that's wonderful. Have that experience. That's the reason why you experience that person as mom, and that you experience that person as dad, and why you experienced your relatives, and why you had that high school experience, and so on and so forth. But also understand that you are more than that. You really are the soul just having that experience. That experience does not define you. it's just an experience. And that could also help with your healing as well. Sometimes we become so attached to our mistakes or our perceived mistakes, or we hold such an attachment with my physical DNA, my lineage, or I have such an attachment with this or that. But realize you came here to experience that, yes, but not to identify yourself with it. Because once you pass away from this world and you transform into wherever it is that you're going next, that identity gets left behind, and now you are embracing everything you ever were and ever will be and ever was, and and as well as the entire collective consciousness, you become fully everything again, and it becomes abundantly clear once you've shed the human form. So instead of waiting to find that out after you've shed your form, your soul is trying to help you to embrace that while you're still here. So yes, still understand you are Kundalini. Yes. You have likes and dislikes. Yes. You have love interests. You have things that you like to go do and things you don't like to go do so much. And, maybe hate paying taxes. Yes. um, but that's not who you are inside and out fully, 100%. And yes, I know you know this at a conscious level, but your soul's trying to help you understand it at the subconscious as well. Just like really fully integrating it so that you can be both a human, having fun, being Kundalini, and at the same time, you're like, well, that was an interesting experience. Well, that was shitty, but it was definitely an experience, or that was really awesome, but that was also an experience. And it's a way for us to learn more easily, and for us to have a broader perspective when we detach from the idea that that identifies who we are. It's just an experience. And right now we're just having an experience. So I hope that makes sense. It's probably why I was like, these boots are made for walking, because eventually these boots are going to walk right out of 3D at some point, not anytime soon. But so have fun while you're here, but remember, it's not who you are entirely. And yes, I know you know this, but that's what your soul's trying to work on doing, is knowing it from the conscious to the subconscious. Kundalini says, yay, chaos. So cool. That's a good one. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You are very, very welcome, my friend. And John says, ooh, a Minolta X370. It's not a fancy Minolta. It's just a regular, like, point and shoot. But it did have like three. I have it in the other room, actually. But it had three focuses, for like close up, mid range, and then telephoto. 3 phases of telephoto. That's what I'm trying to say. Real small. So I think it's the 370. Now that I think about it, you might be right. I think it is. Oh. Very happy Monday said vibe check, please and thank you. All right, will do, my friend. And John says, from driving to walking. Yes. The car broke down. Now we walk. Very happy Monday says, great driving jam. Lilith was like, whoa. And very happy Monday says, anything can happen. Yes. All right. And then we have our buddy John again. Excellent. Excellent. Okay. So very happy Mondays. Let's take a look at that vibe check. Vibe check, aisle 3. All right. Okay, we're getting some conflicting songs. I'm trying to narrow it down to one because I am not singing 5 songs. Okay. She hung out with the children of the stars in the Hollywood hills and the boulevards. Something in the Fairfax. She can't settle down and she can't relax. Everything's gonna be alright. Rockabye, rockabye. Everything's gonna be alright. Rockabye, rockabye. Oh, oh my gosh, who sings that song? But yeah, so Rockabye is playing. Okay, nice. Very happy Mondays. Nice vibe check. I like it. Haven't heard that song in a while. Very Happy Mondays says something you told Costolini brought to mind Once in a Lifetime by Talking Heads, respectively. Ooh, all right. I dig that song too. Terra Live concert. Yes. Okay. So let's see what that means. So okay, Bear Spirit Healing. So in the lyrics of that song, if I remember, it's a person, girl, or whatever, who's um, she's going out to like make it big, but she's like really sad, because it's like the Hollywood is not what she thought it would be. So it's like it whatever, chewed her up and spit her out, So it says even her smile looks like a frown. And she can't sit down, she can't relax. And so it's like she's very disenchanted with what she thought it would be. But the narrator in the song is saying, rockabye, everything is going to be all right. So it doesn't matter what, is happening here. And again, in the external world, which, bear spirit, bear is a very protective, very mothering, grounding, fiercely protective energy. And so just know that, there might be some times that you were disappointed because you had certain expectations on some things. And I know that in certain sects of Buddhism, they say that when we expect from another or a situation, then we will always be disappointed because we cannot control other people. We cannot control those situations. All we can control is our reaction to things and ourselves. And so in the song, I believe that's what they're trying to show this person who's very disenchanted by Hollywood. It's like, oh, I thought it would be sunshine and rainbows and, and I'm going to hang out with all these stars and, and everything. And turns out it's gritty and it's dark and it's like, so the expectation did not match what actually ended up happening. So if you find yourself at times feeling let down because your expectation is here, and then the world's showing up down here, just realize that again, just like John having his experience, Costolini having an experience, we're all having our experiences here. Lilith, everybody who's in the chat, that. We are learning to release. We're learning to like kind of live in that flow, kind of like the Aurora Borealis, that, light language that we did, where we're just kind of letting go of that expectation. We could want and aspire to do certain things, but remembering that we can't control the world around us. We can't control the people. And so all that we really can control is our reaction to it. And so we enjoy the ride instead. And I know that you're probably pretty good at that. But this is just a reminder. If you've ever find yourself like, man, like, why are people doing that? Or why is, well, we have to look at why we're reacting in that way. Not to get down on yourself, but just to understand why. And then maybe we can change our personal reality by just shifting our perspective a little bit, grounding ourselves with that bear spirit. And it's also a form of healing too. And when we release wanting to control, we're a lot happier, because it's like, man, is it tiring trying to control the whole world, trying to control the people in it, trying to control, people, just be nice to each other, just get along, but that could be very tiring. So we just say, you know what, I release it. And I'm just wow, this is a fascinating experience that I'm having right now. So yeah, I hope that message helps. Very happy Mondays, saying, aw, thankful. And Lilith says, chuckles, did y'all finish all the spicy, Newtons, yes. No, there's actually a handful of, I'm trying not to eat all of them. I'm trying to leave some for the other people in the household, but I think I'm just going to end up eating all of them. Yes, they were delicious. Let's see. Okay, so our buddy John has another question. Be very happy to pull you a card. So just let me know what your question is, my friend. Hello, John Gross, my old friend. So happy to pull a card for you again. Sitting around with our best friends in this live chat on Sundays. I don't know why that song was coming to mind, but I like rearranging and playing with the lyrics. Jen says, I want to know about the Pando aspen forest in Colorado. Do they experience life as a single being or as a collective? Ah, the Pando. Okay. Let's pull from the tarot. Okay. Okay. So the Pando aspen forest in Colorado. Who can say when the do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do. Oh, now my ear is ringing. Ah! Hello, high vibing aspens. Wow, such a pretty song. But yeah, man, my ear is ringing. Aspen coming in pretty hard. Enya, yes. Oh, okay, Two of Swords. Okay, so John, it's a lot of layers, actually. So with that aspen forest, it says that they kind of experience things as a collective, but yet they have their individual experience. So they're saying that they're not far off of the way human beings and animals experience this earthly plane. So they said, as humans, you're part of the whole collective. We're all part of this whole collective. So when you have an experience, that energy, that knowledge, that understanding goes into the collective, and it can be accessed by anyone and everyone, anything and everyone, I should say. Yet you're having your own individual, unique earth experience. And they said that's kind of what we're having here. But it's a little bit different than what humans do, and that we also hear and feel the other, but we don't need to be necessarily right next to each other. So one of the trees that's stepping forward, kind of speaking for all the trees there, is like, if I wanted to talk to somebody, another tree in Arizona, I'm all the way in Colorado, there is a frequency that we hear, but not obviously with ears like you have, but we hear through this feeling. It's well beyond a dog's range of hearing. It's really high. But it can be gauged. We just don't have the technology to gauge it yet, they said. But um, it's almost like singing, and it can be heard, and it's how we talk to one another. When we hear that, we feel how the other is feeling. So not only are they communicating almost quote unquote vocally through this sound that they emit, but we can feel also what they are trying to say. So it's like if your friend told you, I'm hot, and you hear the words, I'm hot, coming from their mouth. But what if you could also now feel like, oh, wow, I'm burning up. I understand how you feel. I understand what you're trying to say. They said that's how we communicate. So we communicate through this very high pitched sound, which is like our singing voices, which is really just our communication. And it's heard not with ears, but through kind of like this vibration. And we can also feel the intent of the other tree, what the other tree is trying to express. So, and in that feeling, it can be felt by the other trees if they wish to tap into it, but not every tree wishes to tap into it. So let's say if, I don't know, a tree is getting cut down. The other trees might decide they want to feel into it because they want to understand that experience. They don't really see it as good or bad. They just see it as an experience like, oh, wow, that tree got cut down, because they see themselves as eternal. So they don't understand dead tree, because they said there are no dead trees. They said we literally come back. So we're never really dead. We're always in a process. And sometimes that process looks like death to you, but it's not. We're always alive, just not in the way you would gauge life. And so some of us might be able to tap into that cut down tree, that cut tree, or we wouldn't tap into it. We have the choice, but we can experience things as a collective, but also as individuals. So that's what they mean by kind of layers: collective, but also individual. They have a choice whether they want to experience it as a collective or not, an individual choice. Ooh, interesting. Interesting. I'm gonna have to look up about them, because now you've piqued my interest. Interesting. Whoa. Um, let's see. Very Happy Monday says, reading those lyrics, that line should be a whole lot prettier if she smiled once in a while. I used to hear that often. So Mercury retrograde is revealing forward movement on that. Dynamite. Thank you so much. You're very welcome. Very Happy Monday said, only time. So John's ears were also ringing too. Interesting. But yeah, there was like, their frequency feels really high. And John says, I've had a feeling they were a node in the collective, a sort of portal in time, but also that that's not their whole reason for existence. Yeah, it's wherever they're sitting is like on a really, really high frequency. I mean, because my ear's still on blast right now. Lewis says, sent another PayPal. Would like to know the meaning of that dream I told you about the Notre Dame. Let me know if you need elaboration. Okay, all right, will do. Thank you, my friend. And Very Happy Monday said, Spirit Song makes the best playlist, and these hits are hitting. S Light 79. Sure, we do. We're doing super chat, super stickers right now. So if you'd like to jump on in, go ahead, or you could do PayPal donation, which a lot of people prefer to do that instead of going through YouTube. So that's cool too. John says they're supposedly at the end of their physical station on Earth. When we talk about reincarnation and stuff, and there's quite a few people these days that are like, this is my last time on Earth. This is my last rodeo. I just feel it. I kind of feel it for those trees too. Very interesting. Very Happy Monday says, that's the Enya song, Only Time. Yes. And John said, thank you again. And thanks, Pando. And you're very welcome, John. Thank you for allowing me to connect to them, because that was pretty awesome. All right. So Lilith, if you don't mind refreshing my memory a little bit about the Notre Dame dream. I remember pieces of it, but I want to get the whole picture before I tap in. Okay. And in the meantime, I'll have some tea. I'm like having so much fun. You're like, you guys get the radio station going. I'm like, yeah. Oh no, I have an eyelash, or possibly all of them. Oh my goodness. Okay. So I think it was something about, for Lola Phoenix, was it about the Notre Dame fire? Something being connected to it. Okay, it says a couple of days before the fire, I had a dream about being a blue being inside of the cathedral, and I knocked over a long candelabra with lit candles and set the cathedral ablaze. Okay. All right, so let's tap in. Let's see if there's any music attached to it. I mean, because there could be. All right, so let's look here. Wow. It's not hard to see the boy is mine. I'm sorry that you seem to be confused. He belongs to me. The boy is mine. Do, 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 do. He belongs to me, not you. You keep acting like a fool. Brandy and Monica. All right, some late 90s going on. Brandy and Monica. The boy is mine. Okay, so let's pull your card here. I don't even know why the boy is mine came up with lighting the Notre Dame on fire, being a blue being, knocking over the candelabra, setting the place ablaze. Ooh, got the Eight of Swords coming on in. Okay. So actually it's almost metaphorical. And the blue being is actually a blue avian, you being a blue avian. The avian aspect of you trying to bring this knowledge in, because they're kind of like although, I mean, there's a lot of wisdom and a lot of different entities and energies. We often think of like birds, owls, things like that being connected to knowledge, communication, learning and understanding. So it was like, think of these massive structures people have built with, various religions, temples and synagogues and churches and things like that. And that there is a truth, a reality. Like, let's take Christianity. There was, there is, a Jesus, and through other people's interpretation, that energy, that message that person was trying to spread to the world could be misinterpreted. And sometimes it can be misinterpreted when people are wanting to gain something from themselves. So they might, like, you know, take something that they read, but like skew it to, like, fit their wants and their needs. So it's not truly, like, just using Jesus as an example, not truly what he said or not truly what he meant, but people will reinterpret it to fit their needs and their wants, or if they possibly wanted to have control over another. So the candelabra being the internal flame, let's say, that all beings have, you knocked it over. It's the truth within all, the souls that have lit this institution on fire. Not Jesus, not the religion, but it's those that, the church was just being a symbol in your dream for those that may misinterpret, those ascended masters and things like that. So this dream was more to show you that there's so much to dig into, instead of just like, pushing, let's say, all religions. Some people just, they don't like organized religion. And so because of, whatever happened in their childhood, maybe something was like forced on them against somebody else's interpretation, where they like took and twisted things. And then now people have this like aversion to this particular religion because they're like, well, this person was really mean to me, and that's what they believed in, but it was twisted and skewed. That wasn't the real belief. That wasn't the real, word, and so we can't just like kick to the side, this person's teachings because this person's interpretation, or this person was a bad person and they hurt us. Instead, look at it that this person was hiding behind something else. They were twisting it to fit whatever narrative they wanted, and they hurt you with it. So not to say you personally, but to say that your dream is trying to show you that a lot of people are starting to see that maybe we shouldn't be running away from like all religion and all of the things that it has to teach us and show us, just because we had a bad experience with our family or a bad experience with this person, that there's so much to learn. And so that was why, you may have seen like the candles, the inner light, and all these people are starting to set that stuff ablaze, because they're like, wait a minute, there is something valuable to learn here. And sometimes people twist things for their own agendas. Doesn't make the religion bad, doesn't make Jesus bad. I'm just using him as an example because that's the religion I know best, So, but what I'm trying to say. So, instead, like, maybe let's try to reconnect to the original energy, and try to understand maybe why those people twisted the things the way they did, why they tried to hurt us, in the way they did, utilizing this or that. But yeah, not shunning the entire religion. I just keep seeing like there's some valuable stuff to learn, but maybe working through our wounds that were given to us by other people, and not necessarily the religion itself. So interesting, very interesting. Okay, so let's see. Ooh, an S light. We'll definitely pull a card for you. Lilith says intriguing, and John says, well, into now that's what I call music territory. And he said, owl right outside my window last night. My girl, Black Cat Sabbath, was freaking out around 4 a.m. Ooh, oh, also, my friend Laura had a picture of an owl that I think her friend took, that was just standing in the middle of the parking lot. So some bird-like energy, owl energy coming in. And Lilith says, does that dream translate to what happened into reality? No, I don't feel like, your energy in whatever way was, let's say, the reason behind the cathedral going up in a blaze. However, I do feel it was the collective reason. That was something that the collective needed to see. They manifested it into reality because it was time for them, all of us, to look within, to try to understand what that, what do churches, stand for? How do I feel, when I see one, do I feel like pain because I'm experiencing, something from this life, where I had some sort of trauma, surrounding it, or is it coming from a past life? But it was something that the collective had manifested, but not you personally, if that makes sense. John says also, all the leaves on my magnolia fell and it was full yesterday. Oh, a shedding, renewal, shedding and renewal also would be connected to the solar body as well. Interesting. I dig that. Okay. So, and Lilith said, fascinating. All right. So, S Light, does Lee have feelings towards me, please? Sure. And Lilith, you are very welcome. All right. So, S Light, I don't know if you've been in our live chat before, but I tapped into, what was it called? It was channel 144 Spirit Song FM. I think that's what it was called. Yeah, our little spiritual radio station before I pulled the card. So let's see. And Very Happy Monday says, I don't know, but it's giving spiritual warfare, two girls fighting over the boy. If two factions are fighting for control, domination over the church or people, it could be that, but also it's almost like, like let's say, I don't know, like Buddhism. Let's say, there's Buddhism, and then there's some people will say, well, Buddhism is this way. And some people are like, no, Buddhism is this way. And so we have all these different sects of Buddhism, right? Or some might say Christianity, it's this way, and so then we have these different denominations of Christianity. We have, Protestants, we have Mormons, we have, all these like different groups. And it's like, but it's this way, it's this way, it's this way. So it's almost like that tug of war. I feel like Monica and Brandy, like the boy is mine. It's like, it's this, the boy being, the center of that religion. It's this way, it's this way. But again, just to suit individual, Okay. And Lila says, Mondays, Jesus is mine. And Very Happy Monday says, and blue versus red energy is very timely and symbolic. And Lila says, I have blue avian in me. Very cool. All right, so let's take a look at our friend S Light 79. Does Lee have feelings for me, please? Okay. So just tapping into Lee's energy and your energy and seeing what comes out on the radio. Channel 144 Spirit Song FM. No Diggity by Blackstreet. Play it on, play it in, play it on, play it. Yo, Trey, drop the verse. Say, get down, good Lord. Dun, roast that. Can strictly up to don't play around, cover much ground, and bang, bang, bang. Getting paid is a forte each and every day. True play away. Can't get her out of my mind. Wow, I think about the girl all the time. Bow wow. East side to the west side. And when the fat dries, it's no surprise. Chicks for the stash, stacking up the cash. Fast one goes to the gas. By no means avarice, as long as she's got to have it. Baby, you're a perfect 10. Wanna get in? Can I get down so I can? I like the way you work it. No diggity. Got to bang it up. Like the way you work it. No diggity. Okay, well, I mean, we'll pull a card, but we'll see. Okay, ooh. The Devil card, which usually is connected to a lot of sexuality. She's got classy style, dramatic by the found. Okay, yeah, now I'm just gonna have that song stuck in my head. I would say that Lee definitely has an attraction. At this point, it's a very physical attraction. I'm getting a lot of physical, like, attraction. So if I'm not sure like what your situation is going on, but if you're feeling attracted to this person, obviously Lee is feeling very attracted to you. This might be a good jumping off point to want to get to know each other a little bit more. Your likes, your dislikes, maybe You can ask him out to lunch or a cup of coffee or tea, somewhere. But I don't think he would be opposed to it. However, I do feel that this person feeling the feelings he has inside, let's say he finds a person very attractive, that's not what he wears on the outside. So Lee doesn't really wear that on the outside. It's like I try to keep this like poker face. I don't want people knowing my intentions, my emotions, what I'm thinking, so I might try to play it really cool. So if S Light were to ask me out for lunch, I might be like, well, I don't know. I might be really busy that day, even though he's attracted to you or Lee is attracted to you. So it would be like, but you might ask Lee out again. Like, hey, I know that you were really busy last time, but I really feel like I want to get to know you. It's like Lee's really wanting confirmation that somebody else is interested in him, and before he would make his move, Lee is kind of slow to make these moves. So it's like if you were to ask this person out again, then it would be like, well, okay, yeah, sure. I think I have some time. We could do this. So yeah, I think it feels like Lee likes to play it cool, doesn't like to put all the chips out on the table, doesn't put all the cards on the table for everybody to know. Because Lee, due to some past experiences, is afraid of getting hurt. So it's just a way to protect the self from being embarrassed. You don't just, Lee wouldn't go straight up to a person and be like, oh my gosh, you're beautiful. Like, let's go out. A little bit more reserved than that. However, below the surface, really attracted to you. So I hope that makes sense. Okay, let's see. Very Happy Mondays is playing music over there. And then John's like, we went from Backstreet to Blackstreet. We sure did. Very Happy Mondays was singing backup with me. Nice. This is very low key on the profile. Okay, so S-Light says, we don't have a contact. He went back to his country and stopped contacting me. Okay, so like I said, Lee likes to protect, the way he protects, he would protect himself from being hurt, is like I was saying, just likes to play it really cool. So if you were in the same vicinity and you were to ask him out, it would be maybe like a no at first, and then you persisted, then it was like, okay, well, I'm getting confirmation that this person has interest in me. So then I have permission to show interest in S-Light. But having gone back to the other country, then it would be like, well, I'm in this country. Why would S-Light want to, keep a connection with me, want to keep in contact with me? I don't see how it would work out without one of us getting hurt. And Lee really doesn't want to get hurt. So although very attracted to you, and if you were in the same vicinity, would be more than happy, if you were persisted, would be more than happy to want to get to know you. So if this is somebody you truly want to pursue, you may have to be the one to reach out and contact, but reach out and touch someone. That's old school. Anyway, Lee may or may not respond to that, because again, there's like this self-protection thing going on, something past relationships. But it's not because Lee doesn't find you attractive. It's not because he doesn't like you. It's just I don't want you to get hurt because of me, and I definitely don't want to get hurt. So I'm just playing it cool, but it's coming off obviously kind of mean to stop just talking to somebody, but it's not intended that way. He's not trying to be mean to you, not trying to give you the cold shoulder. It's just, yeah. So I hope that makes sense. Marie Selenites, hello. So Marie Selenites, we are doing super chat, super stickers. If you would like to do that, I'd be more than happy to pull a card for you. And S Lights is 100% you describing him. Oh, and Marie Stelline is a new subscriber. Well, thank you. Mwah! And thanks for joining us in this live chat. So yeah, some people, they do super chat, super stickers through YouTube. You don't have to if you don't want to, especially if you have a thing against YouTube. Then you could do PayPal, and there's like a little QR code. I think it's right there. Yay! That you can scan with your phone, and then it'll take you straight to PayPal. So you could do that if you'd like, but it's all donation. So there's no like set, thing. It's just whatever you feel. Very Happy Monday says they're on the same street now, John. Oh, John was saying same address. And Very Happy Monday says Diana Ross, reach out and touch Faith. Very Happy Monday says Depeche Mode. Yes. S Light, you are very welcome, my friend. All righty. Well, my goodness. Look at the time. Well, if that is all our super chats and super stickers and our PayPal donations, then we'll go on to our channel guided meditation. I always like to end on a healing note, a nice like, you know. But yeah, I really appreciate everybody who hangs out with me during these Sunday live chats, and it's always an honor to be able to pull cards for you. And thank you so much for the donations. And I like tuning into the Spirit Song FM, 144 Spirit Song FM. You guys have some great music over there. So yeah, okay. I think this candle will make a beautiful focus for you. John's like marathon channeling today, but it's all good. It's all good. And Lilith says the brat cat is ready for the meditation. Well, hopefully it'll settle brat cat down. Okay, so I'm gonna bring y'all in over here. Get closer, much closer. Do I want to go? Yeah, I want to go this way. There we go. That's beautiful. Okay, so Very Happy Mondays. This says, I thought you were heading towards reach out and touch somebody's hand. Both songs slap. They do. They do. I can go for both. Lila says, I got biscuits and everything. Oh, little kitty biscuits. All right, you guys. I'm going to, maybe I will just allow, I still feel that Aurora Borealis energy. I don't know if it's going to involve singing or I will actually be speaking, but well, let's go with it. Okay, so go ahead and find yourself a nice, comfortable space, a place you will be uninterrupted for the next several minutes. You could be laying on your bed, sitting in a chair, perhaps seated on the floor, or maybe you're lying underneath your favorite tree. Whatever place is most comfortable for you. And getting in, just starting to deepen the breath, signaling to the body that you are about to receive some much needed relaxation. Feeling the rise and fall of the chest. Starting to notice the shoulders maybe falling away from the ears. Feeling the hands become heavy as they fall to your sides. Feeling the tension in your hips begin to dissipate. And if you had been clenching your jaw, you start to feel the jaw begin to relax. Feeling that relaxation down the neck, the spine. It feels so good to be in this space. So good to finally relax, allowing your muscles to release tension. Perhaps even allowing your eyes to close as you feel that rise and fall of your chest. And when you begin to feel absolutely at peace, happy, content, whole, in this peaceful moment, use any of your strongest of the five senses to feel or see, to hear yourself inside a portal. On the one side is your day-to-day world, the world of ups and downs, the world of smiles and frowns, light and shadow. And on the other side is the infinite, the Alpha and the Omega, they would say. The all. No labels, no preconceived notions, no past, no future, but a beautiful present. It is indeed a gift. And allow your foot, either your right or your left, extend that foot into the infinite, into God's realm. What does it feel like? What are you sensing? Do you have fear, joy? Notice these emotions and then bring your foot back. Take that same foot and extend it behind you into our 3D world. How does it feel now? What emotions are coming up for you? And do the same with your arm, perhaps your whole leg, or only your hand. What does the infinite feel like? And what does the finite feel like? And as you do this, understanding that both exist simultaneously. One is true in its realm, and the other true in its realm. But notice how even your physical form, your energy, your emotions shift from the infinite to the finite. No judgment, just witnessing. If you feel so inclined, lean forward until your whole form is within the infinite. How do you feel? Where do you feel it? Do you still have a form? Remember that you are safe, no matter which side of the portal you find yourself on. When you're ready, bring yourself back. And now allow your body to dip backwards into the 3D. How does it feel? What emotions are coming up for you? Do you have form? How does it differ from the infinite? And when you are ready, bring yourself back to the middle, into the center of that portal, standing on the edge of the 3D and the all. Realize that you are both. This beautiful creation that you are. Being able to have a foot in either world, so to speak. Do not forget the feeling that you had in both. Take this with you. And when you open your eyes once again, look to see how you can integrate this into your 3D life. Having felt the infinite, having felt no labels, no form, how can you bring more of your soul into your 3D world? And next time you find yourself in the infinite, in the astral, how can you bring what you've learned here on earth with you? And when you are ready, you find the portal beginning to fade away, and you feel yourself within your body once again, feeling that rise and fall of your chest. And go ahead and wiggle your fingers and toes, and perhaps have yourself a little stretch. Yay! All right. Let me go back and look at some of your comments. Lilith Phoenix said, Peter Pan. Jen says, are we back on peanut butter? And Melissa says, isn't that what you brought why you brought the royal jelly? And Vestet is here saying, hey-o. Lilith says, I feel like you and I are the mischievous kids in the back of Tara's classroom in this moment. And John says, and so I can transform into the queen. And Lilith says, go wild, John is yours. The crown is yours. John says, always been one to engage Lilith. And so John's got the honey, or the bee, and then Lilith's got the honey. And Sean says, it's hard to type with this tiny queen body, but dancing feels natural. Lilith's like, is that a armless doll I spot? Yes, it's a found piece. Very happy Monday, says Royalty. All right, you guys. Well, thank you so very much for hanging out with me and allowing me to pull cards for you guys, and for voting for that light language activation with the Aurora Borealis, the real Aurora. Thank you so much. And for everybody who popped in, for all the new subscribers, mwah, thank you guys. And yeah, I suppose I will catch you all next Sunday. Peace, love, and chicken grease. Peace out. Bye, guys.